If you have ever been in a narcissistically abusive relationship, you attracted that narcissist. And it was not intentionally. You know, when women attract narcissistic men, it is something about her that attracts him. Narcissists are attracted to not just one specific individual. They are typically attracted to anybody that they can victimize. They are especially attracted to individuals who are vulnerable. For example, people who have not healed from past traumas. You know, women who have not healed from previous narcissistically abusive relationships, women who have low self-esteem, women who do not know their worth. And so, if you have ever been in a narcissistically abusive relationship, you are going to always attract narcissists. Even if you heal yourself, even if you ascend. Because like I have healed myself, I have been in 2 narcissistically abusive relationships. My children's father, who is deceased, he was a narcissist. My ex, after him, who narcissistically discarded me January 2020, is a narcissist. And so I've been in 2 narcissistically abusive relationships. But I started attracting toxic men when I was about 18. And so the first relationship that I ever got into, I'm not going to share too much information because I'm very private, but the first relationship that I got into, I don't consider him a narcissist, but he just was not a high value man. And so honestly, after my relationship with my narcissistic ex, I didn't start attracting narcissists until after I met my children's father. And that's when I started attracting narcissists after, things didn't work out with us and we went our separate ways. That's when I attracted another narcissist. So if you've ever attracted narcissists in your past, you're always going to be a narc magnet. You are always going to be a narc magnet. Even if you heal and ascend, you are still going to attract narcissists because you are a woman. You're going to attract them even more. You're going to attract narcissistic men even more when you heal and ascend. You're going to attract them more, but then to less. And I'm going to explain that because when you heal and ascend yourself, you're going to have stronger boundaries. You're not going to be susceptible to a narcissist manipulation. You are going to learn your worth. When you heal yourself, you're going to learn your worth. You're going to learn your value. You're not going to allow any kind of man into your life, but you are also going to attract narcissists even more. Because when you heal yourself and you ascend, and like I've healed myself, I have ascended, I lost weight, I went from 157 to 108 pounds. I attract more narcissists now than I used to because men are visual. Men are visual, including narcissistic men. So if you are a narc magnet and you want to attract less narcissists, you're always going to attract narcissists. If you have been in a narcissistically abusive relationship in your past, you're going to always be a narc magnet. But you just have to have boundaries. You have to know your worth. You have to have spiritual discernment, and don't allow men to cross your boundaries. You have to know your worth and your value. Okay. And you have to continue educating yourself on narcissists. The thing about narcissistic men do not see people as people. They see people as possessions. Okay. They see people as a piece of property. Okay. And that's how narcissistic men perceive they're victims. They perceive you as possessions. That's the reason why a lot of women, when they are trying to escape an abuser, a domestic violence, narcissistically abusive situation, you hear those sad stories where women tried to get away and he chased her down in traffic and shot her dead. You hear those stories about women trying to leave their abuser and ending up unalived by their abuser because he wanted to have that control over her. Narcissists need control. And so a lot of abusers will not allow you to escape them. They see you as their possession. And that's why narcissistic men are very dangerous. And so I say all that to say this. If you are a narc magnet, you're going to attract all kinds of men. But if you have ever been in a narcissistically abusive relationship, even if you heal and ascend yourself, you work on yourself, you are still going to attract narcissists. You're not going to attract narcissists as much because when you heal and ascend and you learn your worth, you're not going to be you're not going to be an easy target like you used to be. When you have strong boundaries, when you know your worth, when you know your value, you are not an easy target to narcissistic men. You're just not. So you're not going to attract as many narcissists, but you are still going to attract narcissistic men. They're still going to try to attempt to prey on you. They're still going to attempt to use predatory tactics to lock you down. They're still going to try to love bomb you. And so that's when you have to have boundaries and you have to have spiritual discernment and you have to know your worth and you have to continue educating yourself. Because narcissists, they are getting more and more manipulative, more and more predatory. Narcissists are predators. They are predators. They prey on people. They victimize people. And that's why they are predators, because they victimize people. They abuse people. And so you just have to go through life knowing that you are always going to attract narcissistic men. Even if you heal and ascend, you're not going to attract as many narcissists once you heal and ascend, but you are still going to attract them because, especially when you ascend, because when you heal and ascend, you are more attractive. You are, you're more attractive, and men are visual, even if they are narcissists. And so you just have to have boundaries and you have to know your worth and continue educating yourself and use your spiritual discernment and vet men. Don't ignore red flags. That's how a lot of women end up in narcissistically abusive relationships, is because they are desperate. They ignore the red flags. The warning signs are there, but they ignore it. And so you just have to go through life knowing that, I know that I'm always going to attract narcissistic men. I don't attract as many narcissistic. I attract more narcissistic men now because I've lost weight, I'm attractive, but because I have the knowledge and I have the knowledge that I have, and because I have strong boundaries and I know my worth, I know my value, and I don't allow people to cross my boundaries. I'm not an easy target for narcissistic men. I don't fall, I know when I'm dealing with a narcissistic man. I know when I'm dealing with a narcissistic individual. I can look at a man and tell he's a narcissist, by his energy, his demeanor, his behavior. I can just tell. And so I'm not an easy target for narcissistic men, whereas in the past, before I healed and ascended, I was an easier target because I didn't know my worth. I didn't know my value, and I just was not ascended. I wasn't I was not the woman that I am today. And so you just don't want to have any open doors for narcissists to come in, and not knowing your worth, not knowing your value, having low self-esteem, not having strong boundaries are considered open doors for narcissistic men abusers to come in and infiltrate your life and abuse you and victimize you. So you are always going to be a narc magnet. Even if you heal in a sin, you just have to have boundaries. You have to know your worth. You have to shut down narcissistic men. And if you notice that a man is preying on you online, like on social media, don't do online dating, because there are a lot of predators on there and narcissists and abusers. But you just have to shut down narcissists every time. Don't be desperate. But once you heal in a sin, you're not going to be desperate for a man. And also, I am abstinent until marriage. So, that's a closed door. That's, when you know your worth and your value as a woman, keeping your legs closed and being abstinent until marriage, that also protects you from narcissistic men, because narcissistic men, they engage in casual sex. They're not about commitment. They engage in casual sex. So keeping your legs closed, that's going to protect you. Abstinence is protection, but you are always going to attract narcissists, whether you are healed or unhealed. A narcissist, even if it doesn't matter how much you have healed and ascended and worked on yourself, narcissists are still going to try you. They are still going to try to attempt to prey on you. You just have to shut them down each and every time. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in my next upload.